Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr Gola. I am from the South African National Biodiversity Institute, and I am under the project called Ecological Infrastructure for Water Security. And I'm going to be telling you about the project today. As we all know, that South Africa is a very water scarce country. We do have a deficit in terms of water supply. And by 2030, that deficit is estimated to be about 17%. We also have severe droughts that are being experienced, and this is driven by climate variability and climate change. And on top of that, our main rivers in the country are in a very poor condition. And so is our wetlands, and our wetlands are being lost at an alarming rate, which is about 50%. What we know is that healthy catchments are needed for the overall water supply system to work. So we do need our ecological infrastructure to be supplementing our built infrastructure or bulk infrastructure for us to deliver these water services. And what you can see on the left-hand side of your screen is the ecological infrastructure that supplement this built infrastructure and is needed for the catchment to function optimally. We've got a number of interventions that we can do to protect our catchments, like clearing our alien invasives, looking after our buffer zones, taking care of our wetlands, and rehabilitating any mining land that we've used, and so on and so on, just so that we have our bulk or built infrastructure working and having a longer life span for it to deliver the services that we need. We all know that our dams for water supply are at a risk of being sedimented, especially if our catchments are not healthy. So you can see on the screen that if the catchment is eroded, your dam will lose its storage because a lot of that sediment will settle down in the dam. Whereas if you take care of your catchment, you have a better chance of having your dam function optimally and prolonging its lifespan. There are also other benefits that we get from healthy catchments, such as healthy catchments increase our water yield, they support food security, they improve our water quality, reducing flood damage, reducing fire risk, storing carbon, providing jobs for people, enabling tourism and ecotourism, and just general rural livelihoods are improved if the catchments are working optimally. What we mean by ecological infrastructure, we mean healthy functioning ecosystems that provide or deliver services to people. So those ecosystems can be rivers, wetlands, landscapes and corridors of natural habitat, your forests, your riparian zones, and so forth. It is very important that we restore and protect our ecological infrastructure because it does underpin our water security. We know that if we take care of our ecological infrastructure, then that means that we are buffered against things like droughts and floods and so on. So if we don't have our healthy ecological infrastructure, which buffers us from all of these disasters, then we are in trouble of when these disasters hit, we are very hard hit and it affects our economy. The ecological infrastructure for water security project that I'm telling you about today is a project that is undertaken by the South African National Biodiversity Institute under the guidance of the Development Bank of Southern Africa. And it is underpinned by a three-pronged approach, which is firstly creating an enabling environment to support policy and looking at the financing mechanisms and natural capital accounting. And secondly, we are trying to strengthen the on-the-ground implementation on two selected catchments. And we want to be sharing the knowledge that we learn out of the project to a broad range of stakeholders, so that everybody can take action in the future in terms of how do we take care of our ecological infrastructure. The project, even though the project is implemented by SANBI and with the DBSA as a national implementing entity, there's a number of sub-executing partners in the project that are working on the catchment, on the different elements of the catchment. So the first element of the catchment, we've got SANBI working with Status A in the national capital accounting work, and with the National Business Institute in the financial mechanisms work. And we also have the University of KwaZulu-Natal that is helping us to look at water resource accounts. And at a catchment level, where we demonstrate this work, we're working with a number of organizations like Umgeni Water, the Brede Forest Catchment Management Agency, the Duze Umgeni Conservation Trust, WWF, and then on the third arm of the project, which is the social learning component of the project, the Water Research Commission is leading that work. WWF is working with WRC, and we also have the Center for Local Capacity Building, as well as Rose University, working alongside the WRC. So when we say we're working and we're implementing at a catchment level, we've selected two catchments in the country to demonstrate this work. The one catchment is the Greater Umgeni catchment, which provides most of KwaZulu-Natal's water, particularly the main centers of Pietermaritzburg and Durban. And what we've done is we've extended the Umgeni catchment to include the Upper Moy catchment, as well as the Mkomazi catchment, with the Lovu and the Mlazi in between. And the reasons for that is that we're also taking account of the transfers that are coming from these catchments to the Umgeni catchment. So there is a transfer from the Upper Moy to the Umgeni via Spring Grove Dam, and there's also an upcoming transfer that will come from the Mkomazi to the Umgeni via the planned Smithfield Dam. The second catchment that we are working on to implement the project is the Bergreger catchment in the Western Cape, which is also a very important catchment for water supply for Cape Town. So both of these catchments are quite high in agricultural value and are quite important for the city of Cape Town. So ecological infrastructure presents a very profound opportunity to strengthen our water security, support climate resilience, and tackle unemployment, particularly in these times where we have COVID-19 that has hit very hard on our people in terms of employment. So the work that we do around ecological infrastructure interventions becomes really important in supporting people with jobs and alleviating poverty. This is just the project team that we have on the project. We are led by Ms. Jennifer Zungu, and we have Ms. Amy Ginsberg with the National Capital Accounting work, and I am working on the policy front of the project. And we've got Alex Marsh working on the financing mechanisms, and we've got Lungin Dobu on the Umgeni catchment, and Samantha and Helen are on the Burger catchments. Then we've got Ms. Michelle Hesterman at the DRC, who is taking care of the knowledge management and the social learning aspects of the project. Thank you very much. That is it from me.